Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm Antoinette. I'm the psychotherapist in private practice, here helping you plan for your very own private practice. Today is going to be a follow-up to the last video that was on insurance paneling. I just want to dig a little bit deeper into the difference between copay, reimbursement, and secondary insurances. I'm sure for some of you guys, you probably think like, oh, that's a no-brainer. Most of us have had insurance, so we know what a copay or deductible is. But I want to try to give it to those who may not be familiar with the other side of insurance, where you have to be the one to bill and have a better understanding of how it can affect your bottom line and your budget, and also you're planning on how many clients you want to have, what's the maximum caseload you want to carry, because these are all choices you get to make when you're in your own private practice. You don't have to work 40 hours a week. You can only work 20 to 25 hours a week if that's what you so desire, and have that much more free time for you and your family, or just for you to relax and work on some other things, some self-development. The first thing is a copay. So you have a client call you and say, hello, my name is, I want to, set up an appointment with you. This is my insurance. So you proceed to take the basic demographics, name, date of birth, address, phone number. Make sure you have the proper spelling of their name, because when you reach out to the insurance companies, if the spelling is different, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty getting through. Excuse me, I just finished breakfast. So then you take down their basic demographics. You can either call the insurance company. You can ask them for the number off the back of their card. Or you can, once you're credentialed, you'll have access to the insurance company's website, where you can just go in, plug in the basic information like the name and the date of birth, or the member ID number and the date of birth and the name, and their information will pop up. And some of them are even fancy these days and allow you to actually print a copy of the insurance card, so you don't have to request it from your client, which comes in handy, I must tell you. But that's something we can get into at another time when we talk about electronic medical records. Yes. So you check with the insurance company and you see whether or not they have a copay or a deductible. Sometimes, most times, insurance companies put all of it on there that they have a copay and they also have a deductible. But the question is, okay, well, which one comes first, the copay or the deductible? That's not always clear, but at least you have the basic information. You have a printout of the insurance card. You have all of the information that the insurance website provides. You may then have to call the insurance company to confirm which one comes first, the copay or the deductible. If it's the copay, so if your session, you're going to charge them, we're going to stick to small numbers, you'll charge them $65 because the insurance allows you, the insurance company are the ones who set the rates. So they determine whether you get to charge $65 or $75 or $85, and every insurance company is going to have their different rate. So for the sake of this video, we're going to say the insurance company allows you to charge $65 for your 60-minute session. The copay is $10. So, okay, so now I'm only going to get paid $55 from the insurance company, and I'll collect the $10 from the client when they come to the visit. But once you've gotten that information, you want to call your client back and confirm with them. Sometimes they already know because they've been to different specialists and things like that before, and they'll tell you, oh, my copay is $10, or I don't have a copay. But it's always good to confirm, just for your own sense of reasoning. You know what's going on, you know what's true, you know what's valid. So, but if they have a deductible, the insurance company will say, well, they have a $2,000 deductible. What does that mean? That means that they have to meet $2,000 in medical expenses before the insurance will kick in at either paying 80% or saying like, okay, now they only have a $10 copay, but they have to reach that $2,000 deductible. So that means if they come to see you, they will have to pay for 100% of your services. That means they'll have to pay the whole $65 until they've met their $2,000 deductible. Then it'll transition over to whatever the other portion of the insurance plan is, and that's going to be different for each client and each insurance panel. So you want to just confirm what that means and what that looks like before you take the client on, because they may not always be able to pay the $65 out of pocket, and so that may mean that may look like you only getting one session out of them. You can't do anything in one session. You can't do much in two sessions, to be quite honest. Even if it's just a simple problem solving issue, you have to first develop the rapport with the client before you can really start tackling issues with them in a healthy therapeutic manner. So you want to be sure that your client can afford to pay the $65, because again, we're talking about people that live in our environments and in our neighborhoods, and they don't all have money falling off the tree in their backyard. So once that happens, you then determine, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't take this client on because I really can't afford to take a client that may not be able to pay. Or you can just take the chance and say, you know what, I'll take them on anyway. What we can do is negotiate what they have to pay. You don't have to charge them the rate that the insurance says you can charge. If they can't afford the $65, you can speak with them and say, okay, I'm going to take you on. I understand that you can't pay the whole $65. So what can you pay? So that's something that you can choose to negotiate. It's sort of like having charity cases. And what you can do is you can write off the amount of money that you're losing out on with this client at the end of the year. It's the same for your copays. If you have a client that can't pay their copay, because sometimes they can't pay that $10 copay, but they need help, they need the support. What you do is in your system, you just write off their copay, and at the end of the year, you write it off as a loss. That helps you in your tax return, to be honest, as a business. So I'm not saying you should always take charity cases, but it's okay every now and again to take someone that may not be able to afford the total fee. Okay, so what's next? So when it comes to people that have Medicare, they will have a secondary. Some of them can afford to pay for a secondary. Secondaries, most of them are not free. They have to pay for them. And so the secondary will pick up the 20% that Medicare does not cover. I repeat, Medicare covers 80% of the fees, but the secondary will pick up the 20%. Some secondaries, you don't have to be in network or affiliated with them at all. What happens is Medicare will send the extra 20% automatically to the secondary insurance carrier, and they'll just send you a check. Unless you get enrolled on their online payment systems. And I got to tell you, there's a million online payment systems. And so that's something that you would just have to navigate through once you get into private practice, trying to determine the best way to mainstream or streamline, I should say, the online paying systems. It can just become a bit much. Okay, so if someone doesn't have a secondary, sometimes you have clients that are Medicare and Medicaid. Medicaid does not pay out if you are not enrolled with them. I'm going to tell you that. So those are the clients where if you don't want to be enrolled in Medicaid, then you take your 80% and you write off the 20% at the end of the year that the Medicare does not cover. However, again, you can take it on as a charity case, because if Medicare allows you to bill $100, $80 from that client is better than losing out on the $20 that you're going to get. And you're really not losing out, because you get to write it off on your taxes at the end of the year, so it gets credited back to you. So to me, that's a win-win, because I'm not looking to get rich. I'm looking to serve people and help people get through difficult things in life. And I'm also here to help encourage you all to serve the people in your community and in your environment. So again, that always goes back to your purpose of going into private practice. Go into private practice because you want to make a difference. You want to be that in-network therapist that your clients cannot find in your neighborhood, in your communities, and in your families. So I pray pray that you all, understand that and kind of get that from me, if nothing else, that, you go into private practice because you're driven and there's a purpose behind it. You're not looking to get rich. You can get comfortable. You can get very comfortable because you have so much time. And the insurance rates, like I said, they are comparable. You're not going to be poor and destitute being in private practice if you plan properly, and you do it with the right heart. So I think that is all. That's all I have noted down here. We'll probably talk about insurances again when we get around to talking about caseloads, because once you get in network with insurance panels, you'll have a better understanding of how much you're going to get paid for each client. You don't get the rate schedule from the insurance companies until you have been enrolled or credentialed into their system as a provider. Once you're ready to sign the contract saying, yes, I agree to the terms, then they will send you a copy of the fee schedule so you can see exactly how much you're going to get paid or reimbursed for each one of your sessions. And sessions can vary. They can be 60 minutes. They can be 30 minutes. They can be 15 minutes. Those are all different codes, and they come with different paying systems. But that's something that you would not get until you get credentialed with the insurance panel. So I hope this was helpful. Forgive me for my imperfections because I, stumbled in my words a little bit, but we're all human, right? Have a great day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Please subscribe, like, and comment. I'm trying to remember all those things. And also check out the website, thevisitingcounselorllc.com. I have a blog on there where I always, drop little tidbits and more in-depth information about the things I share with you on the video. All right, all be well and keep planning for private practice.